Hey everyone, how's it going? So context for this video. Uh, I have spent probably about the past 2.5 years in a much different place that I spent the time before that. I became a lot more social, um, got involved in the music scene, became a regular at a few bars. uh, Sort of fell into a lifestyle of going out a lot, socializing a lot, being out of my own home with whatever boyfriend I was with at the time. There were only really two. Um, just constantly meeting new people, having new wonderful experiences. In fact, I remember at the beginning of that phase how kind of shocking all of these experiences were to me. It was shocking to me and so exciting that I got to see an amazing show, and I was on the beach with somebody and someone was spitting fire, and while all those experiences are still really amazing to me, I kind of feel like I have really amazing experiences almost every fucking day now, which kind of makes me wonder what my life was like before this past 2.5 years. So in a sense, it's been an immense blessing, but in another sense, it has created a sense of overwhelm that is much worse than at any other time in my life. And as such, despite the fact that I have done a great amount of self work before and during this time and have progressed a lot in some ways, in other ways, I've also sort of either regressed or just sort of gotten lazy. I drink a lot more. I'm way more stressed out. I drink a lot more. I'm constantly running. I seldom make time to be mindful. I wasn't exercising at all. I gained some weight. I stopped being allergic or intolerant to a bunch of foods that I used to think I was allergic or intolerant to, and started just eating whatever I wanted. My sugar tolerance is back up. My salt tolerance is back up. My cravings are back. It's rough, and I have felt foggy minded and tired for years now. Um, I've had a lot of what my astrologer, one of my mom's good friends, calls life or death experiences, major ego deaths, major traumatizing or stressful or just painful experiences. One was a breakup of a 10-year relationship, then a breakup of a 1.5 year relationship, and just recently of a 6 months relationship. They were all hard in their own ways. But I've felt for a long time that I need to make a change in my life. Not in a vague sense, in a very real sense. And I've been sort of ignoring the reasons why. Ignoring the things that might be affecting me in negative ways. In this most recent instance, I suppose, one of my first steps towards really just trying to get back to myself and trying to get back to healthy and back to joy was to relinquish a relationship that I was in. The relationship in itself, I won't really talk about. It's wonderful in many ways, but it especially, but also just being attached to anybody seems to still trigger some of my worst behaviors. And I really tend to let go of myself and my own needs in favor of the other person's. I tend to expect the worst, which may have come from certain parenting experiences I had. And I get attached, and my brain changes about that person. I get insecure. I get worried. I get very anxious. I'm an anxious attachment type. So anyway, that was sort of step one of I need to just sort of let go of the things that are not serving me at the time, and it's unfortunate because I really lost something that I also really cared about. But it's been a month tomorrow, and I have been living in my own space. I moved into an apartment, a studio on my own. So this is the first time I've ever lived alone, and that should help. And it has felt immensely empowering. It has helped me focus. I feel safe, like I have my own safe base. It took a couple weeks of uh, moderate depersonalization, I'll just call it. I felt very much like a ghost and felt very detached, and it was very weird. But after about a month, I've settled in. I'm gonna finish this video if it kills me. Anyway, so here's the embarrassing part. In the past, I've done month-long detoxes and month-long alcohol diets or whatever. And they were great. They weren't that hard. My therapist has reminded me over and over again that people who don't have problems with alcohol don't actually need to take breaks from drinking. Guilty as charged. But during those times of the month-long detoxes I had a boyfriend who was also detoxing, and I either lived with and, bought food for and spent all my time with, or, had them around pretty consistently for support, mutual support. This time I don't have that. And that makes it a lot harder, because if I'm the only one I have to impress and I have a low self-image, then I clearly am not going to try very hard, historically. So the embarrassing part is that I'm doing this for 7 days, and it's really just no alcohol and no sugar. But my goal is really to just sort of kick myself out of gear, so to speak. Just to do like a hard stop on so much of the habits I'm in, and the ways in which I've been living. Just constantly making plans, constantly going out, constantly drinking, constantly spending lots of money, going out to eat instead of eating in. I want to foster a lifestyle where I am still active and still social, but I don't use it obsessively to avoid feeling my shit. And I simultaneously would like to enjoy being alone and not find it terrifying or boring, and avoid it at any chance I can. I want to be so in love with myself that I'm comfortable being with myself. I want to use the energy and passion I have for music and writing and illustration and whatever projects I'm working on artistically. I want to actually have that energy, do things instead of just sit in me and end up kind of rotting. I want to eat healthier. I don't want to spend as much money. I want to be less foggy brained. I want to exercise more. I want to sleep better, and I want to enjoy being present again. I had a really great mindfulness practice while I was still living with my ex over 2 years ago, and found it immensely rewarding. And I found myself a great deal more present than I had otherwise been in my life. A great deal more conscious of myself and my needs and my feelings and everything. And lately I've been thinking about how when I was a kid, I was just so fascinated with everything. I could sit in a fucking field and be completely entertained. And even as a teenager, I had a much stronger connection to the physical world around me and the experience of being alive. And I was quite content to just sit, and be. And I was fascinated by, I don't know, the way the sun comes through icicles, and what ants do, and the phenomenon of experiencing life through a physical human body. It's just fine being. And lately I've been allowing myself to escape by any means possible. So I want to spend 7 days with no escape. Or at least not very many escapes. Or at least not alcohol and sugar. And hopefully not going out as much. Right, okay, hi. So my phone kept dying and fucking up the videos I was making last night. So I just wanted to finish explaining what this whole video is about, which is that I'm going to do a 7-day ritual descent into the underworld slash booze detox. And that concept comes from, anybody who knows a little bit about me knows that I've been sort of dabbling in chaos magic and spiritualism and mysticism and such for the second time in my life after taking a large break from it. Largely as a psychological experiment. I think it's fucking fantastic and it's really working, and I find the whole science of magic very interesting. Anyway, so I'm reading this book called Journey to the Dark Goddess or something like that. I'll put a link in the thingy to the book on Amazon. I don't even remember who it's by. Author seems to be sort of a professional ritual maker of sorts, and she has come up with some really thorough, imaginative rituals. It's very interesting. It's very inspiring to me because I'm not terribly creative with mine, just sort of intuitive. And I'm only halfway through the book, but she talks about doing a ritual, metaphorical or astral, whatever you believe, descent to the underworld. And the metaphor there, for me, is about Pluto, who is Hades, who is, Lord of the Underworld and all that, and takes you down there, takes you through all these trials, and you face all your shit, and it's fucking dark, and it's hard, and it's terrible, and it's terrifying, and in theory, the hero, comes out the other side stronger, I don't know, more compassionate, happier. I don't know. I should probably have better words for the outcome of self-growth, but yeah, so I've sort of taken Pluto and that metaphor on as kind of a metaphor for my life purpose right now, and what I expect what has been and what I expect to continue to be the experience of my life is transformation through pain. And facing pain. So, in this particular book, the concept is descending in order to meet the dark goddess, which is in a lot of myths, Persephone and Psyche and Demeter. I can't quite remember the rest. And to me it's Pluto. To me it's Hades. So my ritual descent largely consists of just not drinking and not eating any sugar for a week, and just, I think I already said it in the other video, doing kind of a hard stop on a lot of really bad behaviors. I have asked 4 friends to be there to encourage me to continue if I freak out and I'm having a moment of weakness. Hoping they can remind me who I am and what I'm doing in this world, and that if I continue to ignore this seemingly benign behavior or these seemingly benign behaviors of mine, I'm going to continue to feel immense existential angst and worthlessness, and nothing's going to change, and I'm not going to be happy in the world, and I'm not going to love myself, and I'm not going to make beautiful things. So I chose people who could remind me of that. I have a really hard time asking for that kind of help because it's really embarrassing for me that I might have a moment of weakness on a 7-day detox. But anyway, so I'm also doing a couple sort of ritually spell things, or just, I don't know, just being clear about the purpose. That's really the point of ritual to me, is giving my mind something to latch onto, to feel a sense of purpose, which gives me motivation, it gives me clarity and focus, it gives me energy, it's fun, you know. So in the book, the story is these heroes, or in this case also goddesses or female women, mortal women, have to give things up at all the gates of on the way into hell, I guess. And I've certainly been giving things up, so hopefully my sacrifice is accepted, and I do come out on the other side feeling stronger and more connected to myself. I hope that I remember enjoying being sober, and remember being in my body, and remember what it feels like to have the earth under me and the sky above me and hair on my face and just whatever, just being alive. I really need to connect back to myself, focus on myself, stop focusing on other people, stop worrying about what other people think. There's just 100 things that I'm hoping this will just start to trigger a change in my mind. Anyway, so I've talked for fucking ever. This was just more of I just needed to document it. More for me, I guess, than for anybody else. But wish me luck. I will try to upload a video every day. Today is actually the first day. The video earlier was me last night. And at the end I will write a post about what I discovered and what I saw in the Underworld. So, wish me luck. Geronimo.